sur le fond de la laïcité, en concentrant nos efforts sur parler de la clause dérogatoire et pas sur le fond de la loi 21?
Écoutez, la position du gouvernement elle est claire. La position est nous allons respecter le jugement de la Cour suprême. Entre-temps, nous sommes le parti de la Charte et nous allons défendre la Charte. Quant à la position sur la loi 21, la mienne, elle est connue depuis très, très longtemps, mais le gouvernement ne prend pas position en soi sur la loi 21.
Et M. Carney a fait un discours ce matin à la prière, le petit déjeuner de la prière nationale. C'est un discours très religieux. Est-ce que vous avez l'impression que c'est approprié comme ça que le premier ministre de notre pays ait un discours très religieux alors qu'on est justement en train de plaider cette cause-là à la Cour suprême, à la cause de la laïcité?
Bien, le premier ministre a ses propres croyances et je le respecte. Il agissait à ce moment-là en titre personnel, en son nom personnel.
Minister, there's a BC company called Seven Seas for International Trading and Logistics, which has been sanctioned by the U.S. over alleged ties to Hezbollah. Do you know anything about this?
This is a question that you should ask the Minister of Foreign Affairs.
Sur la clause dérogatoire, Mme Joly, si jamais là, le Québec devait perdre sa clause, vous ne croyez pas que ça peut donner des arguments aux mouvements séparatistes, aux autres provinces, justement, qui ne trouveraient pas les moyens d'arriver à leur fin? Bien,
c'est le temps de plaidoirie. À ce moment-là, on va respecter le processus judiciaire. Et après, on verra ce que la Cour va décider. Et en tant que plus haute instance judiciaire au pays, bien entendu, on va respecter son jugement une fois que ce sera le cas.
How do you expect to respond if the Supreme Court does strike down the notwithstanding clause?
I'm not into hypothetical cases right now. We will respect the judiciary process. It's an important process. Hearings have started yesterday. The position of the government is clear. We are the government that will defend the charter. And we're not taking any position on Bill 21 per se. My own personal position has been clear for years. I've said I'm against it, and we'll respect the decision by the Supreme Court.
Minister, the Prime Minister has been texting Pierre Poilievre. It seems that the relationship is more cordial. Do you expect a reset in the House leading up to CUSMA review?
I think that when we work as one team Canada, when it comes to defending the interests of auto workers, steel workers, aluminum workers, and forestry workers across the country, we win. We need to be united, and it's important that all opposition parties also be working with the government on this. That was the case during the first Trump administration at the time when we went through a very successful CUSMA review, and we expect no less.
Minister, Quebec's premier has issued a letter along with some other premiers asking for more control over people who are appointed as judges, judge appointments. What do you make of that?
Well, we've always taken into consideration the different proposals by the Quebec government and by provinces, and I think we should be open to it. I think more we're able to showcase collaborative federalism in our country and make it work, more Canadians win across the country from it. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Poser des questions sur la contestation de la loi 21 à la Cour suprême. Hier, les juges ont posé des questions aux avocats en leur disant, vous ne croyez pas que le Québec a une vision particulière de la laïcité compte tenu de l'oppression catholique que le Québec a vécue? Est-ce que vous n'avez pas l'impression qu'on devrait considérer cela dans la loi 21?
Malheureusement, comme vous le savez très bien, ce n'est pas possible pour moi d'offrir des commentaires sur les enjeux juridiques qui est les parties contestées devant la Cour. Il est très important pour moi d'assurer les arguments que le gouvernement a avancés et dans le Cour suprême du Canada. Ce n'est pas possible pour moi d'offrir des commentaires dehors la Cour.
Minister, in reaction to the joint letter sent out by the premiers, with Alberta, you were really clear that the federal government's not going to cede its role in terms of choosing Superior Court judges to the provinces. Is that still your response?
Yeah, we haven't changed our point of view that we believe that the judicial appointments process is functioning. We're seeing a rapid pace of appointments, maintaining the judicial complement in each of the different provinces when it comes to Superior Court appointments. That said, we welcome provincial government's participation in that process and proactively reach out after we receive recommendations through the judicial advisory committees to test with our provincial counterparts whether they've got information about the reputation of the people we're considering. I found that to to be very informative. We've had a lot of positive feedback from a range of different, from every province, frankly, when it comes to the appointments that we have made, and many of those have proved to be excellent appointments. So the process is functioning. If provinces want a greater role, we welcome them to take part in that consultation process.
Is there any red line, like in terms of them having the exclusive ability to determine what pool of candidates you choose from? Is that like a red line? Like
that's not something that we're considering at this point in time.
Peut-être en français là-dessus. Donc, est-ce que vous acceptez peut-être cette proposition des provinces de pouvoir participer à la nomination des juges des cours supérieures?
Je veux d'accueillir la perspective de les provinces quand j'ai des opportunités pour faire un appointement dans les provinces et territoires. Mais selon moi, les processus, ça marche maintenant. Si les provinces veulent d'informer mes décisions, c'est une idée excellente pour inviter la collaboration, les perspectives après le processus indépendant avec les Judicial Advisory Committees. Après ce processus est terminé, j'ai fait des appels à mes homologues dans les provinces. Si vous avez des perspectives importantes pour moi, c'est une invitation. M'envoyer une courriel, faites un appel. I found that the process has worked well. We have made appointments that have reflected some of the positive feedback that we've received from my counterparts in each province, and I hope that process continues.
So what the Liberal convention, if this is going well and everything's good, then why do you think all these premiers are going forward saying changes need to be made?
Well, look, I never want to impute motivation to another person. If they have issues that they would like to have addressed, we can talk through them. If they have substantive concerns about the judges that are being appointed, they should say so. But my perspective right now is that when they have been invited up until very recently, we've seen willingness to participate. We have excellent recommendations that have come through in certain instances, including recently in Alberta. We've seen appointments made that were the subject of very positive feedback from my provincial counterpart. That process has worked well, and when we appoint someone to the bench that our provincial counterparts say has been a top tier, would be a value add to the bench from the profession, my sense is that that is a good outcome, and I hope that opportunity to collaborate continues.
There's a policy proposal of the Liberal convention that says the federal government should use disallowance on any provincial law that uses the notwithstanding clause preemptively. I'm wondering what you make of that.
I have no intention to use the disallowance power. I think that right now it's very clear that there are certain areas that are squarely within the purview of provincial governments, typically where they are best positioned to make decisions. Obviously, when you come to healthcare and education, the level of government that runs the hospitals and schools should maintain the ability to make decisions in their policy space. The same applies in areas of federal jurisdiction where we have unique expertise or experience built up over a century and a half. I don't think it would be a helpful thing for the Federation for me to publicly comment or consider using the disallowance power.
What do you think that Mr. Poilievre is actually on a texting basis with the Prime Minister? What do you make of that in terms of their relationship and what that means for the government going ahead in terms of working together?
I think it means the Prime Minister is a particularly accessible guy. I happen to be on a texting basis with him too. He welcomes that level of engagement from parliamentarians. My sense is if people can stay in touch through not just the formal channels we've established in the House, but through informal channels so they can connect on an urgent basis, it's usually good to build a relationship and creates an opportunity to nip problems in the bud early.
If it's a better relationship, does that mean that your government is no longer interested in poaching any more Conservatives?
Look, if we're interested in doing the job that Canadians have elected us to do, if additional members of Parliament from other parties are inspired by the job that we're doing in government, of course we would welcome them, but I'll leave those decisions to my colleagues in Parliament.
Thank you to the four premiers.
What do you think of the fact that Daniel Smith says the MOU is not going to be ready by the deadline of April 1st?
You know, what I can say about that is that we, the federal government, continue to have discussions with the province regarding the MOU, and those discussions are progressing, and you know that we signed a cooperation agreement with Alberta a couple of weeks ago. And so I look forward to seeing what will develop over the next short while. Thank you so much.
You worry Alberta's not going to live up to its side of the bargain?
Alberta Premier has made access to MAID. Do you support those changes?
I'm sorry?
Do you support the changes their Premier has made to access to MAID in her province?
MAID is a discussion that we'll be having on an ongoing basis between the Minister of... I'm sorry. Oh, that's okay. Sorry.
No, but did you support what Premier Smith is doing?
Proceed in regards to the Canada collision?
Not a lot new to report, no. Obviously, the hard work now of analyzing the factors that led to this tragic incident, or that hard work has begun, and will continue until we get to the bottom of it.
We already see Statistics Canada results that show that Canadian tourism to the U.S. has once again been cut back quite a bit. Do you expect this to impact Canadian tourism south of the border?
I don't want to speculate on that. What I can say is that Canadian transport systems, air notably, has some of the most rigorous standards in the world, and I do want to be very reassuring that we take every precautionary measure and make sure that Canada continues to perform at the highest levels of security.
Did the Americans have those similar rigorous standards?
The Americans have very high standards, and we have a very collaborative relationship with the U.S., and I know they'll be as eager as we to find the answers.
This is the second crash in the U.S., major crash, where air traffic control appears to have played a major role. Do you have the concern, they're vastly understaffed. Do you have concern about the quality of their system?
I have the duty to follow the evidence where it leads. That's what we'll be doing. We conduct extremely rigorous analyses of these tragic incidents, and we learn from everyone. We learn from those who learn from their own incidents as well, and we'll be applying those lessons very fastidiously.
The Trump administration cut a lot of federal departments, including transport, including air traffic control. Do you think that potentially plays a role in any of this, just how stretched thin they are from the American cuts over the last year?
Look, I don't want to get into commenting on the United States or any other country's systems, other than to say that we have an incredibly interconnected transportation network. Notably in air, we have very healthy channels of communication and collaboration, and that will continue. That's part of it.
Est-ce qu'il y a une préoccupation par rapport à la capacité des Américains d'assurer la sécurité des appareils canadiens?
Le Canada a les standards dans les plus rigoureux du monde entier, et une partie de la raison pour laquelle nous sommes si confiants dans nos standards, c'est parce que c'est grâce à notre collaboration avec d'autres pays, notamment les États-Unis. Écoutez, moi, je veux même être rassurant. On parle ici d'un incident très tragique. Je pense qu'on a tous vu les vidéos et j'en passe, mais moi, ma job, c'est de suivre l'évidence, de suivre les experts. Nous avons un système très rodé en matière d'analyse de ces incidents tragiques-là. Et on va continuer de suivre l'évidence là où elle nous amène.
Est-ce que c'est acceptable que Maître Rousseau ait fait une vidéo uniquement en anglais, monsieur?
That's a question for the whip, but not to my knowledge. Will Greaves is a great member of Parliament.
Est-ce que c'est acceptable que Michael Rousseau ait fait une vidéo uniquement en anglais pour offrir ses condoléances à la suite de la tragédie?
Non. Air Canada, ils savent mieux. Ils ont une responsabilité de communiquer avec l'ensemble de la population, leurs intervenants, dans les deux langues officielles.
Do you think there will be a resurgence of the NDP, a resurgence of a threat from the left, given the momentum they have right now?
Momentum?
C'est pas la première fois que M. Rousseau.
Hein?
M. Rousseau communique seulement en anglais, c'est pas la première
Air Canada a des obligations, des responsabilités, et comme ministre des Transports, moi, je m'attends à ce qu'ils remplissent leurs obligations.
Mais ils prennent pas ça au sérieux, clairement.
Encore une fois, ils ont des obligations, des responsabilités, et
quand même la famille d'un pilote québécois. Là,
on va continuer de faire en sorte qu'Air Canada remplisse
ses obligations.
De quelle manière?
Pensez-vous qu'un revers en Cour suprême pour le gouvernement du Québec pour donner des arguments au mouvement indépendantiste ou leur donner un élan?
Je suis beaucoup trop vieux pour commenter des enjeux qui sont devant des cours. Oui.
Things are happening. You saw there was a meeting in Montreal. It's a good first step. A lot of countries are willing to engage. This is important. This is a moment in time where people understand we need to provide more financing to increase our industrial capacity. We've put our defense industrial strategy, but if you look at other NATO countries, obviously having a bank that would be dedicated to help small and medium-sized business would be a good thing. And we've seen a number of countries want to join. More to come, but a good first step, for
The
sure.
price of gas has skyrocketed. Do you think your government can help Canadians with that in any way?
Well, we're monitoring, as you would expect, the situation very, very closely, talking also with our G7 partners. You saw Canada did its part with respect to a release of barrel. So we're monitoring. Like I said, it's a very, if the world was uncertain, now the world is volatile and complex. So we're talking with partners across the country and also internationally, and we'll certainly see what we can do to support Canadians. We've always been there for Canadians.
Cutting the gas tax, is that one of the things you're considering?
We're like I said, we're monitoring the situation. There's a lot of things happening, we're looking at what's happening in the country, what's happening internationally, and discussing also with our international partners.
Internationally, a lot of countries have cut the gas tax.
J'ai communiqué avec lui hier matin pour exprimer mon soutien à toute la famille d'Air Canada, évidemment, parce que hier, c'était un moment difficile pour la famille des victimes, mais aussi pour toute la famille d'Air Canada. Mais effectivement, oui, je souhaite qu'il...
Et le lui avez-vous dit lors de votre conversation que vous souhaitez cela?
Écoutez, je pense que je lui ai écrit avant que sa vidéo... Moi, c'était très tôt le matin. Sa vidéo est venue plus tard, je pense.
Dans votre message, vous lui avez dit par écrit que vous souhaitiez qu'il s'exprime en français?
Non, ce que je vous dis, c'est que je lui ai écrit le matin. C'était avant, je pense, son vidéo. Moi, je lui ai écrit vers 6h ou 7h.
OK, donc juste pour être clair, est-ce que vous dans quelle langue vous lui avez écrit?
Écoutez, je me rappelle pas.
D'accord. Alors, juste pour être clair, est-ce que vous lui avez demandé, oui ou non, de s'exprimer en français, à un moment ou à un autre?
J'ai pas eu la chance d'y reparler. Comme je vous dis, on s'est échangé le matin très tôt, puis on s'est pas reparlé.
Allez-vous lui dire lorsque vous allez lui reparler?
Moi, je souhaite, tant mieux. On veut tous qu'il s'exprime plus souvent en français, évidemment.
Ça fait des années là qu'il y a
Tout à fait.
difficulté.
Merci, on se voit tantôt.
Yeah, the four premiers, they do represent most of the population between the four provinces. So are you going to reach out to them directly to talk about the issues they have?
Look, I'm very happy to. Normally, I would start with conversations with my counterparts, and to date, when we've moved forward with judicial nominations, we have reached out to seek any feedback they have on the names that have come through the judicial advisory committees. To the extent that they wish to have a conversation about how we can strengthen the role of that consultation, we'd be open to it. But we're not contemplating a sea change in the manner in which judges are appointed. Certainly not looking at constitutional amendments, for example. So happy to have conversations if they wish to reach out. I would welcome the opportunity to connect.
Right, but just to confirm, no reach out on your end for this particular issue then?
Look, I haven't reached out to the Premier since the letter has come out. I'll certainly start with my counterparts who hold the justice portfolio in the respective provinces. But we have discussed on a number of occasions the role of the provincial and federal governments in judicial appointments, but not necessarily in response to the letter that is more recent.
Perfect.
Okay, thanks very much. And sorry to run away from you earlier.
Oh, no